I'm Mahdi Shaheeb Sher. My website is www.shaheeb.com. I think one of my interests in the world at the moment is the Iraq War. I think that we've had the Iraq War for 20 years now. So it has been a long period of time to have the Iraq War. I think that America has been present in Iraq for in excess of 20 years, and that is one of the longest wars it's had in modern times. If you look at the wars that America has had in the world, like Vietnam and the Afghanistan war, and it was also involved with the Bosnia conflict as well, and it's had a few other conflicts as well. Iraq has a 20-year war, is one of America's longest wars, and that is quite a surprising thing to see about America and its wars. That rather than having a war of 5 to 10 years, that America does can quite extend these wars to a 20-year period, and this can be quite a long war. So I think America can have long wars as well as short wars, and unfortunately, with the Iraq War, it seems to be a long war. It's similar to the Afghanistan War, and that has now ended with the American withdrawal from Afghanistan. So I think we are still left with the Iraq counterpart, with the Afghanistan War and the Iraq War, and I think with the Iraq War, it's especially contagious as a war because the Iraq War is by all means a war which has exacted a very high price on the country, on its capital and the region itself, the Middle East. So I think that the Iraq War is quite an important war. It's a serious war because it's cost in excess of 1.5 million lives, which is quite um, important consideration when we look at the Iraq War. And it's cost something like in excess of $1 trillion as well. So, in terms of the military spend on the Iraq War, it's quite considerable as well. And it could be money that could be better spent on other things around the world or in America itself. So I think that the Iraq War is quite important when it comes to the cost of life and also the cost of the war itself as well. So this is quite something which is quite significant. And I think the fact that it has gone on for 20 years shows that it is a war of attrition. It is costing lives on an annual basis, on a daily basis, and maybe on a monthly and an annual basis as well. It's taking away civilian lives every day. It's taking away military lives every day as well. It requires a huge occupation by America. I think it has in excess of 100,000 American soldiers based in Iraq. So there is a quite a heavy presence of America in Iraq. And I think with its bases established there, it's quite a strong position in Iraq for America to be based there. And I think that the way America is taking Iraq as seriously as it is quite um, considerable as well, because I think America has in the past been quite supportive of Iraq under previous regimes, and especially with its whole policy around the Middle East and its interest in the oil in the Middle East and the Middle East's position as an energy region for the world. Um, the Middle East is obviously very important for the oil it produces, for the energy security it provides for the world and the global economy. So I think that America does have a vested interest in the region, in the Middle East, and Iraq itself. I think that I think that I think that that's one of the reasons why Iraq is a long drawn out war, and it has been a war that's gone on for in excess of 20 years. There's been some confusion as to the intentions of the original dispute or intentions of the Iraq war and why America has gone to war with Iraq. There's no clear reason as to why America has gone to war with Iraq other than the regime position within the country. And I think that Iraq in itself, um, as a country, has been quite important for the Middle East. But I think that America's position is that Iraq is a problem country for the region, and it's decided to maintain its war position with Iraq for a very long period of 20 years. So I think that's quite important. But I think that we should have a withdrawal from Iraq now. I think that America should start asking questions. Is it right to continue to stay within Iraq for a continued period of war? Or should there be some kind of a debate and discussion as to how America can safely withdraw from Iraq? And I think that would be a good question to ask how America can withdraw from Iraq as a war. It has obviously followed a similar position with Afghanistan fairly recently. So I think America could be in a position to withdraw from Iraq as well, considering it has withdrawn from Afghanistan. And I think these are some of the important questions that America can ask itself. That America is maybe now in a position to rethink and relook at some of the wars that it is conducting around the world, um, especially with the Middle East and Iraq, and particularly Afghanistan as well. And I think if it has withdrawn from Afghanistan, then it could be in a position now to also do something similar with Iraq and withdraw from Iraq as well. I think personally that there is a good time frame involved now where America can withdraw from Iraq now. I think now would be a good time for America to withdraw from Iraq. So I think that it is quite good timing for America to ask the question now whether it can withdraw from Iraq. And I think that the answer to that question is that it can quite readily withdraw from Iraq. So I think that that would be a very positive step. If America can ask the question, can it withdraw from Iraq and should it withdraw from Iraq, then I think it can look to Afghanistan as a recent example of a withdrawal and maybe look at conducting a similar action and process and maybe a procedure to withdraw from Iraq and close the war in Iraq after a 20-year period. I think such a move would be positive in terms of the stability for the region, for the Middle East as a whole. It would provide more security for the region. It would offer more security for the independent countries there around Iraq and its neighbours like Saudi Arabia, maybe Kuwait and Qatar and Iran, and maybe Turkey and Syria as well. There could be more stability in the northern sector of Iraq as well. And I think that that could provide more peace for Iraq as a whole in terms of its country and its peace effort. So I think that with the peace negotiations we are having in Iraq and some kind of discussion we could have with Iraq of a potential American withdrawal from Iraq, and these are decisive questions that would force some kind of concerted action, maybe at least position some kind of initiative in place to look at a phased withdrawal from Iraq and then an eventual complete pullout and withdrawal from Iraq. And that would be a very positive benefit for the whole region as a whole. I think it would do a lot for the problems we're having in Saudi Arabia and Yemen, the conflict we're having with the Hutu rebels, um, and the Yemen rebels and Saudi Arabia. Also, the Syria civil war has been a long-going war. These conflicts, I think, are partly due to the instability caused by the war in Iraq and the duration of the war that has been going in Iraq. So I think if we can close down the war in Iraq, that would be a positive step to maybe ease down further conflict in the wider Middle East region. And I think we could perhaps see more peaceful action occur in the in Syria, Saudi Arabia, and Yemen, and perhaps other areas as well. I think Egypt has some kind of militia conflict at the moment as well. And the whole of North Africa has gone through the Arab Spring as well, and some kind of tension with its militia groups there. So I think a closing down of the Iraq war would lead to wider peace initiatives and benefits around the Middle East and the Muslim world. And this could be a very good benefit for the region and the world on the whole. It could be very good for the global economy as well, with increased energy security and energy resources as well, with the oil output, etc. So I think these things would command greater interest in the world, and I think now is a good time to look at closing down the war in Iraq, finalizing the war in Iraq, saying goodbye to the war in Iraq, and perhaps having an American withdrawal from Iraq so we can put the Iraq war behind us and have a complete withdrawal of American forces from Iraq. That's my position on the Iraq war. Thank you very much. Thank you.